Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
President Trump says Kim Jong-un is not to blame for the death of a 22-year-old American college student who was injured in North Korean custody and died back home. I'm Mark Liverman with the sharp criticism the president faces after those comments.
Plow drivers from Bozeman and Belgrade beyond are saying the same thing. This dump of snow across the area means business is booming. I'm Cody Boyer with MTN News. Coming up.
That's our newest reporter right there.
Never got near my driveway, Cody. Yeah. Oh, no, that's it. We'll have his story in a moment. Sorry about that.
Yesterday, I told you guys earlier, I went to Costco yesterday.
Yes.
I bet I had 10 people ask me how much snow we picked up this week.
Yeah.
The official measurement is about toddler deep.
Right?
Right there.
Yeah. It's deep.
Yeah, it's that deep.
Uphill both ways.
Honestly, if you measured out around 22 inches on my back deck since Sunday, so very impressive numbers. Also impressive, look at how quickly these temperatures are dropping across the area. Any questions on why or any answers, theories? Skies are clear.
Winter,
Oh, yeah.
okay, yeah.
Skies are clear, temperatures
D,
are
all the
dropping.
above.
Just because
Yes.
we're having to make some payment for something is why.
I don't know what you did, Chet, but whatever it was,
My
it
bad.
must have been bad. Scattered snow showers expected later today. Yes, it's beautiful out this morning. It is cold, and we are expecting even colder temperatures this weekend. We'll talk about that, of course, in just a few minutes.
When I was a kid, the snow was this deep.
It's deep. Uphill both ways. That's it.
And sometimes all you have to do is let the video tell the story for itself. We're going to take you to Belgrade for a moment. This is the I-90 interchange. Multiple slide-offs were in the area last night. Those roads are slick, so expect challenging driving conditions today as well.
Staying in Belgrade, schools closed there today because of those impassable roads. We are hearing reports Manhattan is. Butte, Anaconda also closed today. Bozeman schools are remaining open. Follow that little line of information at the bottom of the screen. We'll try to update that for you for area schools as best we can. Those road conditions you saw last night causing a crash yesterday. A man from Butte had to be treated for minor injuries after being involved in a rollover crash yesterday morning on I-90. Montana Highway Patrol says this pickup truck heading east on I-90 near Fairmont. Driver lost control while attempting to pass another vehicle on those icy roadways. He was taken to St. James Healthcare with non-life-threatening injuries, fortunately for him.
Switching to politics, President Trump is back in the U.S. after his two-day summit with Kim Jong-un. The meeting ended without an agreement on denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula.
President is being applauded for walking away from a bad deal, but he's also receiving backlash over his comments about the death of American Otto Warmbier. CBS's Mark Liverman has more.
Confusion over the abrupt ending to the summit between President Trump and North Korea's Kim Jong-un.
I think the president had it exactly right. He said they basically asked for full sanctions relief. That's true. They basically did ask for that.
우리가 요구한 것은
North Korea's foreign minister says not quite. His country only wanted partial sanctions relief, though they didn't offer a full denuclearization, the main goal for the U.S.
Part of the art of making the deal is to know when to walk away.
In Washington, lawmakers praised President Trump for not making a bad deal in Vietnam.
Frankly, I think that we cannot give up our demands for a denuclearized North Korea.
But there was sharp criticism of the president's comments about Otto Warmbier.
He tells me that he didn't know about it, and I will take him at his word.
President Trump says Kim Jong-un is not to blame for the death of the 22-year-old college student. Warmbier was severely injured while in North Korean custody and died back home.
The mistreatment of Otto Warmbier was something that is unforgivable.
Senators Rob Portman and Sherrod Brown, both from Warmbier's home state of Ohio, say Kim Jong-un should not be let off the hook.
I mean, you never should go meet with the North Korean dictator without bringing up the name Otto Warmbier and bring up the whole issue of human rights over and over. That's who we are as a country.
The North Korean regime sentenced Warmbier to prison in 2016 for allegedly stealing a poster from a hotel in Pyongyang. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Now, Warmbier's family says he was brutally tortured. In December, the family was awarded a $500 million in a lawsuit against North Korea.
Such a terrible story all
Absolutely
the way around.
True.
We're going to come back home, back to weather, because we can't stop talking about it. Now, most of us are seeing with this recent, let's try that again. Most of us are seeing the recent heavy snowfall as a big pain in the back. But some people are seeing dollar signs.
Yeah, local snowplow drivers from private companies to one-man efforts are getting busier as the snow piles higher. MTN's Cody Boyer went along for a ride.
exciting. That's why you live in Montana.
It's a sight that slows down many, but for plow operators like Matt Taylor in Belgrade, it means good business.
It means dollar signs, I guess. Yeah, just tons of snow, tons of work. I've helped all my neighbors plow out their driveways, the sidewalks, and everything else.
Taylor says while his service is new, calls started coming in as his neighbors' driveways began to disappear.
People are calling and, yeah, just always looking for somebody to pull their car out. That's what I've been wanting to do. I'm going to put a website together and start plowing here soon.
Now, for even new drivers like Matt here in Belgrade, they say that this dump of snow means the same thing, but they have a few things they want you to keep in mind while they do their work.
I don't look behind me too often, so watch out.
Mike Barner says he's volunteered his quad to help his neighbors get out of their homes. No pay, same mission.
It's beautiful. This is lightweight stuff, so I can move it. If it was heavy snow, it'd only be this deep instead of this deep.
Either way, as business goes up, those like Matt and Mike say they are keeping up the pace just to help.
I grew up in Montana, and that's what we do.
Again, Barner says he plows out his neighbors and anyone around his home voluntarily without pay. He adds if you see someone out plowing, watch out for them to make sure they stay safe while they are doing their good deeds. In Belgrade, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Again, Barner says he plows out his neighbors and anyone around him voluntarily without pay. If you do see someone out plowing, watch out for them. Make sure they stay safe while they're out there doing their deeds. We're going to come back and update just a minute. We now have confirmation Three Forks, Manhattan schools are closed. Belgrade schools are closed. Butte, Anaconda schools are closed. Bozeman, Dr. Rob Watson telling us earlier this morning, the Bozeman schools will remain open, however, today.
So
all because of that weather.
Keep checking those websites.
The little information
our
you
little
see at the
ticker
bottom
on the
there.
bottom. Absolutely, all that. And just to go back to the plowing, if you'd like to come out to my neighborhood, our landlords have kind of forgotten about us for the last couple of days.
Yeah,
so
don't forget about it. If you are a landlord, your tenants do need some help getting out. They have to get to work too, so don't forget about them as well.
But those good deeds are not going unnoticed. So thank you to those fellows for doing that. Let's get back to the news. 3 bills that would restrict how and when the state can require vaccinations against childhood disease were defeated Thursday at the state legislature.
As MTN's Mike Dennison reports, the hot button subject caused some debate on the House floor.
The 3 bills took different approaches toward the same basic goal, allowing more people in Montana to claim religious or medical exemptions from having their kids vaccinated against childhood diseases like measles, mumps, or chickenpox. The first bill from Republican State Representative David Dunn of Kalispell would make it easier for people to claim those exemptions. 2 other bills from Republican Teresa Manzella of Hamilton would prevent the state from enforcing required vaccines for kids in foster care families or daycare centers. Dunn said it's simply an issue of freedom and that vaccines cause many more problems than are reported.
The medical industrial complex has failed to protect our nation's children, and parents in popular culture bully people who disagree on the topic.
Manzella said potential foster care families in Montana are being ruled out because they may object to the ingredients of some vaccines.
I'm really having a tough time believing that I'm standing here on the House floor of the great state of Montana reporting to you that the cells of aborted babies are in our vaccines. The cells of aborted babies.
Republican Greg DeVries of Jefferson City likened these babies to lab rats, prompting a formal objection from House Democratic leader Casey Schreiner.
We need to be better, Mr. Chair. Inappropriate. We object.
DeVries finished by saying citizens should not be compelled to inject vaccines into their bodies. The bills drew universal opposition from House Democrats and from some Republicans as well.
I remember losing friends, little people, because they didn't have a vaccine to protect them. They lived in iron lungs and then they died. I do not want to live through an epidemic that our families went through.
We've been able to eradicate most childhood diseases. The facts are irrefutable. The safety of our state is at risk right now, considering what's going on in the state of Washington. It's our responsibility to make sure that our children are safe.
In the end, the bills failed by wide margins. 60-40 was the closest vote on the foster care bill, and 68-32 the biggest margin on the child care bill. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Oh, we're almost halfway there. In fact, the legislature reaches its halfway point on Saturday, and then they'll take a break for several days before they get back to it again.
A much-deserved break at that.
Absolutely
Yeah,
true.
they've
More to
been
follow for
working
sure.
their tails off, no doubt about it. Happy Friday to you, and happy first day of March to you as well. It is time for a quick break, but a question for you before that. Do you have a library card? Up next, ebooks can be very expensive to buy. Library memberships tend to be free. So what is the next revolution? We'll tell you about it next.
We'll also tell you what's coming up at 7 o'clock. In fact, we're going to let Bianna Golodriga do it for you. Here she is.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, the contradicting claims about top secret security clearance for Jared Kushner, President Trump's senior advisor and son-in-law. And we're at Kennedy Space Center ahead of a critical SpaceX launch, how this mission could change America's future in space. We'll see you at 7.